Hey RootsStones&Bones folks, it's Hilary for another Sit and Sew. Tonight we're going to be making tarot cases. I'm really excited about this because this is one of the first projects I was really inspired to work on my own. Because you get your tarot deck, right? And you usually get it in this case. So a really nice paper box. So I decided we need to get out of the box, and I wanted something nicer, something sturdy, and I wanted some options of how I could close it. So this is really like a 5-year project in the making. Hey, I don't know who's popping on, but say hi as you're popping on. We are going to sew tarot cases tonight. So I have a free tutorial available in our crafters group. So Elisa, if you're here, maybe you can drop a link to our crafters group at some point so folks know where to go to get this. Hi Paula, how are you? We're making tarot cases tonight. So I have a free tutorial, like I said, in our crafters for the Curious and Divine group. So I thought I would show you guys, here's the actual pattern. And I'm a little bit behind tonight, so you're gonna have to watch me struggle a little bit with this. So I want you guys to know that I'm human too. So Elisa, thank you for pushing me to get this tutorial made. She's like, you need to make this, you need to make this. So hey, I have the actual pattern that I am using for my bags. And you can either have a button closure or you can use, like this is one of my first ones. It's a piece of ribbon and it says blessings on it. But you can sew a small piece of fabric. I've done them with pretty gold thread stitching, things like that. I have gifted these out in the past, and what I will say about using the sash closure is that it can and does slip open. So if you're somebody who likes to travel with your tarot cards, you might want to go with a buttonhole. So it's pretty easy. If you have a machine that does a buttonhole, that is what that closure will look like. And here is one of my almost finished bags. It just needs the button sewn on. This is the one that you will see in the actual tutorial when you open it up. This fancy galaxy thing. So let's get started. I really like to give you guys a tip. So I love these foolish, they're like $1 at the dollar store. They're really flimsy cutting boards. Okay, I don't use them for cutting boards. I turn them into patterns that I know I'm gonna use over and over again, so I have it longer. Pretty cool, right? So I thought I'd give you that tip. So I made cut my patterns out. I've got all my pieces. You'll see those listed in the tutorial when you open it up. So let's get started. Let me show you all the pieces you will need to sew a tarot case. You are going to need 2 pieces for your front flap here, your cover. So you need your outer and I'm calling it liner piece because I am choosing to use the same color fabric as the inner of my bag. Then you will have 4 rectangles cut for the main bag. 2 will be your liner and 2 will be the outer bag. And I have chosen to put interfacing on the outer side of the bag, the inside of the bag, but on the outer pieces, you know what I'm saying? All right, this mom's tired here. Raise your hand if you're a mom too and you're tired. Hi Morgan, how are you doing? Phoenix, oh, Morgan Antoinette Phoenix, that's a pretty name. So I really like the interfacing for sturdiness, and you'll see how when I put these 2 bags together, you kind of really need a little more stability than normal. Hey everyone who's popping on, I'm Hilary and we are sewing tarot cases. Okay, I have a couple of different available. I see some people popping on. There is a free tutorial. If Elisa is here, she's gonna drop the link to the group so you can print out your own patterns and pick your fabric and do this. You should. It'll be really fun. I'd love to know what you guys think, and these are like my favorite things to make because you can just go crazy. Here's an example. I really love making these little block patches that are stars, obviously, and I figured out how to make them small enough to put them on my cover. So I'm on it, Rose, she says. Well, not, I added Rose. Does anyone know that reference? Hi, Elisa. She's here. Yay, she's here. I'm stalling because I want to make sure she's here. That's my best friend and business partner, Elisa. So, 2 for your cover. 1, that's the liner. 1 is the outer fabric. And then 2 sets for your liner. For your outer fabric, I chose to use interfacing. I like it for the sturdiness. You are going to sew around 3 corners of both your outer and your liner fabric with the right sides facing each other. As you can see, I've got some really cool bones fabric in there. Muhahaha. Happy almost Halloween, everybody. So I choose to use a 3/8 inch seam allowance. All of the seam allowances are worked into my pattern. And my goodness, I hope it's right, guys. I am really excited to offer this one to you because this is something I've been working on for years. And as you can see, I've come a long way with them. So this is my first tarot case I made. It has the sash closure that's available in there. Hey, Melanie. Hi, Wendy. We're making tarot cases tonight. I'm showing, this is my first one I ever made. Isn't that cute? And it has my first tarot deck in here. And this is really old. I got this when I was really fairly little. I don't know. Elisa, do you remember how old I was when I got this deck? It's my Rider-Waite deck. Who's obsessed with tarot cards and has like 10,000 decks and oracle stuff? Let me know. Elisa just dropped the link to the crafters group so you can get your free PDF. This is what your pattern will look like. And I have it all cut out. So we're gonna get sewing. I'm gonna make the main bag and stitch around the front cover. As you can see, I have pinned my front cover liner with the outer fabric facing in. I have also pinned my outer bag with my interfacing that's on the inside. And this is prep work you should do beforehand, obviously. And then the right side is facing each other. Same with my liner. Okay, and we're gonna stitch around 3 sides. Let's do it. And you guys can tell me how you're all doing tonight. I would love to hear if you are a fan of tarot cards, how you learned about them. I was very lucky that Elisa and I grew up together, and we had a wonderful mom that helped us learn tarot, and a lot of what I know is from her, and of course what I learned from you, Elisa. You're wonderful at this. Here we go. I am going to stitch around 3 sides of my bag. You can see I'm getting to the end with my 3/8 inch seam allowance. I'm going to pick up, I'm going to turn, I'm going to make sure. I need an extra stitch there. Sometimes my eyes deceive me. There we go. Remove your pins as you go. Okay, one more side and we can keep chatting. I kind of need to focus a little bit so I don't, go through my finger or something. Hi, Dana. Hi, Heather. How are you guys doing? Do you guys use tarot cards? I want to hear from you guys. Hi, Mia. Let me know, and I will show off my tarot deck at the end and maybe pull a couple for those of you who maybe share us out and like our project. give us a comment if you maybe want to have a card pulled. Okay, this is what it's going to look like when you sew around 3 sides. So sometimes with bags you would go right ahead and cut the corners, but we're going to box the corners. And I have a pretty detailed description of how to do boxed corners in a previous tutorial. I believe that was the zipper pouch tutorial, which is also free in the Crafters of the Curious and Divine group. So you can find lots of good info there. Okay, I had my partner make me these tarot-sized wooden blocks. I know, silly, right? But I really find that a form is helpful with making this bag. But if you don't have that, of course, what did I just do with it? Oh, just grab your deck. For the longest time, I was using my deck to kind of finagle and use as a form, which is fine. But like now that I'm making so many at a time, I really, you know, want to not put my cards and my energy in each person's bag. So I upgraded. Maybe someday I'll, like, you know, put a sticker on there or something. I don't know. Send me a sticker. Anyway, I find it helpful to use either your deck of cards or a wooden form like this and drop it in to press the seams open. I'm telling ya, this is crazy. Oh, can't wait to see the printed fabric. Oh, the bones. Yeah. It's like, oh, what should we do for Halloween? What should I use? So I am taking my iron and I'm going to press open my seams. And if you don't have a form or a tarot card deck to use, this can be a little bit tricky, but it's doable. Yeah, but I assume if you're making a case for your cards, you have a case, right? Elisa, what's your go-to deck? You just bought a deck. What was the deck you bought? Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Sherry. What did Paula? My cards are about 3.5 by 5. Will the pattern work, or I need to adjust the margins? This is for a standard deck of cards, so this should be 3. I think this is 3 by 5, right? Yeah, this is a 3. Yeah, these are 3 by 5. So you would want to adjust. If you are savvy like that, go for it. I'm telling you, I had to do some math to get my mind wrapped around all of this. And it's taken me a little while to develop this pattern, and now that I feel I have it down pretty good, I want to share it. And Elisa, of course, has been prodding me to do so. So I have stitched around 3 sides, and now I have pressed my seams open, and you can see that this already has really good form because of the interfacing, which I love. So to box the corners, you can see that it's already kind of made this little, like, snake tongues. Yeah, my son loves snakes, so that's like what comes to mind. Anyway, you're lining up your seams, and it's very helpful because you can just see how it lines up, and you know it's even when you press it like this. Anyway, if you know how to do boxed corners differently, by all means do so and teach me a new trick if it's easier than what I'm doing. Okay, so I am taking these and making a mark. I know it might be hard to see what I'm doing, but I have really great close-up photos of this in the tutorial. So if you are like, what are you doing here? I can explain it to you, but obviously go get that tutorial. I am going to make a mark at the 3/4 inch line. So, do I have a pen? I guess I'm going to use a regular pen because all of my all my sketch ones are over there. Okay. I might have to jump up and get one, y'all. I don't want this to be bad. There we go. You can see. Okay. Boop. And then I'm going to just give it a pin. I'm gonna grab that special thing just so I don't mess up, y'all. Nothing too special, but it's really nice to have tools. Okay, and to make sure that everything is centered with this, and it is. Not that a pen doesn't work, but you know, no one's gonna see it but me. You know how I am. Link to our group with the free tutorials above. That's right, there is a free tutorial for that. Hi Nicole, hi Sally, hi Sherry, hi Cheryl. Nice. It's really cool to hear that people use cards, and I would love to figure out how to adjust this for some different oracle decks too, because you know most oracle decks and tarot decks have sort of a standard size, I would say, and folks have begun sort of branching out more with sizes. All right, we're boxing corners on our outer bag, so that is a line at the 3/4 mark on both sides. Okay, so you're going to repeat that on your liner. Look at that. Ta-da! You can see it a lot better on my liner bag because it's black and I used a nice white chalk. Okay, so I lined it up, and now you're going to sew across and back. Hi Heather, happy Halloween. Yes, I'm so excited. Rosalie, hi Rosalie. What are you guys doing tonight? I am making tarot cases, and I'm probably chatting too much, but you know what? This is what I'm doing for my Hallows Eve, hanging out with you guys, so I don't mind if I'm here a little later than I might normally not be. Okay. So when I first started making these, you guys would probably get a kick out of this. I was using my old Singer Red Eye, and it's a 100-year-old machine, and you can't backstitch on it. So every time I do a corner, you'd see me like stop, flip, you know, lift the presser foot, flip, turn it, go back. It's funny how when you use a new machine, you learn how much extra stuff you were doing before. Isn't technology like that? Okay. So I stitched right across that line, and now we're gonna do a little snip. Hey Hallie, ooh, are you watching at work, girl? Are you on break? How are you doing? Happy almost Halloween. Okay, so I boxed my corners on my liner bag. Ta-da! And then I trimmed them. Looks pretty good. Hi Roberta, hi Rhonda, how are you guys? We are sewing tarot cases tonight. Here is an example of one. There's a sash. You can use a button, and we do have a tutorial for this that's listed in the comments. I am working on boxing my corners right now, and chatting a bit about tarot cards. Alright, so I again am going right across that line, and you want to be as accurate as possible. Most card decks are about, you know, an inch width. Oh, there goes a pin, but don't step on that one later. So you want to be pretty accurate. Make sure that your corners are going to be nice and crisp. So if you haven't drawn a nice line, you're going to know. All right, this is my fourth and final corner here. 2 on this bag, 2 on the liner bag, and then we can start the top. So I think that we haven't gotten that yet. Okay, that's what they look like after they're stitched. Kind of fun. We're gonna flip this bag. after your trimming. So I am trimming near, but not cutting my stitches. So that looks really good. All my seams are pressed and they're now, my corners are boxed. And the same for my liner. Hey Alex, how are you? Hi Christina, hi Samantha. How's everyone doing? You're from Denmark? Hey, cheers from Denmark. What do you do in Denmark for Halloween? Anybody reading cards tonight? We're gonna read some cards. Okay, so let's work on the top and then we'll flip that and I'll show off the bone fabric that Elisa wants to see. So this is the top cover. Again, it's like the same fabric as the liner and a front cover that I have pinned together, and I'm going to sew around these edges, leaving the top open. Here we go. I am again using 3/8 inch seam allowance. Hi Mia, hi Barb, how are you guys doing tonight? We're gonna read some cards in a little bit, and right now we are working on sewing some tarot cases to house those cards. Anybody else need to get out of the box? Okay, here we go. Ooh, I forgot. I really like to make some marks so I know where on my corners I can turn that is exactly the same as the other. You know, sometimes it's a little bit difficult to see when your fabric is under the presser foot. So I just made a mark at the corners and at the tip. There we go. Halloween is slowly getting into Denmark. Mostly children celebrate. It's for adults too. You can have fun. I love it. I do love it for my kids though. So my son decided that he would be Harry Potter and that his sister would be Hedwig the Owl, and it's really sweet. They are cute. And we've got, you know, we're not doing trick-or-treating or anything this year, obviously, but we will be going to a little family party tomorrow. It is Elisa's son's birthday. She is my partner in crime here at RootsStones&Bones, so you'll see a lot of comments from her that are all, hey, check out our crafters group and all the nice extras. Okay, here we go. And I'm stopping on that line. Oh, go back, go back. That's right, I make mistakes too. We're working on the top cover of this one, and then I'll show off one that I worked on before. I can show you a couple others so you can see how really far you can take this project. You can be very simple, or you can really deck it out. If you're somebody who quilts, you are going to enjoy what I will show you next. I mess around with quilting here and there, so I'll show it off in a sec. Okay, easier to see on this side with the contrast. Okay, and I am going to cut my corners so when you flip it, it looks good, and I'll show you that too. And some folks like to use pinking shears as well to make sure and there's no running of the fabric or something like this, but and on some of my bags that I have like linen for the lining, I would probably do that with, but I think this one will be safe. Okay, so I just trimmed, so now when I turn it, it's gonna be great. You ladies are always wonderful. Thank you. Your son loves Sans from Undertale Roblox. All of a sudden he's into skeletons. Cool. Love that. All right, where's my favorite tool? You guys, if you guys have been watching me, what's my favorite tool? Pop quiz. It's a chopstick, okay? Eat Chinese food, save your chopsticks. They're great for turning bags. Yep, that's my favorite tool. There you have it. Here is the top cover of my bag. And you know, you want it to be 3 inches in width. So I am going to hold it to my ruler and make sure, because sometimes, you know, you have a little extra sip of wine and all of a sudden your seam allowances change. But this is exactly 3 inches, so I'm doing okay. You love how thorough I am, more lazy seamstress. Oh my goodness, that's so funny. With this particular bag that I've been working on for like 5 years, like making it and perfecting it, yeah, I've been lazy. This was my first one ever, okay? So like, don't compare. But you can tell I was lazy with marking, because like, look at how the side of the cover is like off to the side. It's a little wider than it should be. I mean, these are all like things I developed over the years and like wrote notes and notes and notes that made no sense, and then I developed them into making sense and then had somebody help make sense of them. So it's shareable with you guys. So I really do hope that you check this tutorial out. It is free, and I want folks to make some of these and let me know what you think and put some of your favorite tarot decks in them. All right, you can see how nitpicky I am, but I'm gonna press this and then we'll flip that other bag and I can kind of show you how we get this together after top stitching, of course. So now is a really good time after you top stitch to do your buttonhole. With all of mine now, I like to use buttons. I find that they're really fun. It's really hard to find good buttons. Does anybody else have an issue finding nice buttons? I mean, I love to find them at thrift shops, and I have best luck at thrift shops finding buttons. Isn't that something? Buying them new, I don't know. I just don't find what I want. They're all funky, cheapy plastic. I guess I'm a little picky. Hi, Ruth. Here is the cover. This is just a plain cover. So we took our 2 pieces for the top cover, and we sewed them together, flipped, pressed. Now we're gonna top stitch. I like a really close top stitch, so I do like a 1/4 inch stitch, which can be fairly difficult at the tip. You can always have like a little issue with your presser feet not really pulling because there's not enough fabric underneath there. So I like to use like a little pin or something to give it an extra pull. But if you're not like, use whatever top stitch you are comfortable with. Go crazy, stitch all over, make a design, put embroidery on here, sew a little pocket on. Some really cool ideas. One I'm gonna show off and finish with you guys is this one. I embroidered a little bottle on it, says Kraken oil. Woo! So I thought that was nice and spooky for tonight. If you're a quilter and you love making patches, here is one I made, and I figured out, I did a lot of math, you guys, okay? I did a lot of math to figure out how to make this patch 2 inches. And there's a lot of pieces in here. So I did a bunch of these that I'm making up too. So you guys will see these in the shop. Here's a really nice example of a cover I did with that pretty star block, and I've already top stitched. Yeah, such a pain finding good buttons. Thank you, Heather. I'm not alone here. Okay. But you can see I've top stitched this one, and I have made a 1.5 inch little dash beyond my tip, and that is where I'm going to sew my buttonhole. But before you do, you gotta top stitch, so we're doing that together. Okay, let's do it. top stitching in black. I'll make my stitch a little bigger, and I will make some marks on here because I just want to make sure of what I'm doing. Okay. It's just nice to have an extra view of where you will be turning those corners, so when you look, they are visually correct. Now, does anybody else go crazy with their markings? I'm just using a nice little chalk pencil, and I do find it very, very helpful. I'll show you what I did here. I made a mark. Whoop, there we go. I made a mark here at the corner, using what I'm going to use as my seam allowance for the top stitch, and I did this corner as well, and I made a middle mark here. Your mom inherited your grandma's button jar and you're so jealous. Well, maybe she'll pass them down to you. That's so fun. Button collections. Brilliant. What's brilliant, Elisa? Making marks because this mom brain can be a little... Hi, Mary Betts. How are you? Hi, Deborah. We are making tarot cases. If you're just tuning in, we are finishing the top cover. This part. And we're working on the bag. We're going to top stitch this. And I get carried away chatting with you guys. I hope that's okay. All right, so... checking my settings. Let's hope I do this good live. You know what? You guys make me a little nervous. All right. And it's also a little difficult in here. In order to work with you guys, I have to turn off my work light. Which obviously can be a little troublesome, which is why I need more markings. So here I go around the first corner. I'm stopping where I marked and continuing on. I'm coming to the tip, and now I'm going to flip, go along this edge. Oh, I see it's a little wonky, and I am picky, so I would probably pick this out later. But this is just to show you guys, and because we are having fun. One more. There we go. And we're coming back around the third edge. So if you are not into using a button, you were going to put a piece of ribbon 3 inches up on your bag before you sew around it. And I think I forgot to mention that part. Ta-da! So you guys probably think it looks fine, but I see a little bit of wonkiness right there. Oh my god! Okay, so that is a really small top stitch that is like 1/4 inch, I believe, and I like that. Okay, so we have this set. Your next step, if you are using the fabric sash, you are done, and you would have, before you pinned these two together, put your piece of ribbon or your piece of fabric in between 3 inches up and sewn it. So when you turn it, you have this here, okay, for your flap to go under. But I'm not doing that. I am doing buttonholes. So after this step, you'd go over to your buttonholer. And in our fabric group, I shared, I don't know if anybody saw, a really cool little video of the old time buttonholer I have for my Singer Red Eye. It's my 100-year-old machine. And it's really cool how it makes it, so you should check it out. It makes these brilliant, lovely buttonholes. So I already top stitched this one. You can see I got fancy. I did a little applique of a bottle that says Kraken Oil, and I did the buttonhole already. So this one is ready to go into the bag. So once you are ready for that, get the bag that you stitched, made your boxed corners. Ba, 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 ba. Favorite tool. Push your corners out, make them look good. Here, Elisa, here's that fabric you've been waiting for. It does, it's got bones. I love it, it's fun. So with the interfacing, it really holds the shape well already, okay? You can see here's your side seam. I mentioned this side seam in the directions in the tutorial, so you're gonna wanna pay attention to that. And your liner bag, you do not need to turn right side out because it's already done. Like the inside is the right side and that's where your cards are gonna go. So putting this together is a little bit of finagling. If you're picky on my top stitching quality, consider using a matching thread instead. Exactly. Thank you very much, Christina. That is extremely brilliant. If I did use a nice mustard yellow, you would not notice the small details of mismatch or misaligned stitching. I used black for you guys so you could see that I'm top stitching on my live tutorial. I want you guys to see what I'm doing. And I'll probably keep that because it kind of does look cool as a contrast. Why not? And if you like that contrast, I mean, by all means, you can get like cool variegated threads and all that stuff that change color and, you know. All right, so we are going to turn this into our bag. And this is where you have to just like finagle it a bit. And if you have the ability to make yourself like a little form that is the exact size of your tarot cards, by all means do. If you don't have that, use your deck, okay? So as you can see, I could use this, but I had my partner make me up a bunch of these because I like to run batches of the standard size tarot case card decks. So you're gonna use this. You're in love with variegated thread. That's all you use now. Share with me what thread you use because I've been looking for some nice variegated thread and I can't find anything that really tickles my fancy. I'm picky. Okay. And I really do like the contrast. I like when my top stitching shows. I like that. But yes, if you are someone that is worried or even a beginner, you might want to just use the same color. Okay, so I'm gonna slide this into the liner. So you would be sliding your card deck in here. And I made it so there is a couple inches above. So we are gonna fold it back so that it equals the exact size of your deck. And you don't have to do this with the form inside it, okay? You can measure 5 inches up and just fold it over and pin it. I guess I probably should do that because this looks a little more difficult. But I like to be exact. I'll do that for you folks who don't have that, okay? So here you go. There's 5. I'll line it up on my side seam so I know that it's perfect. Bam, there it is. I'll give it a little pin. I like the form because I can press with it, and I don't know if, I suppose like the cards are, you know, printed and aren't gonna like melt or something like that, right? But I don't know how I'd feel about using an iron with my case. I don't know. Probably wouldn't do anything. They just heat up and cool down. Okay. So I measured 5 inches up and I just put a little pin on each side seam. You can see that I folded it over. This is the liner, the inside of the bag, which is the outer fabric. Let's see if this is right, you guys. This is the finagling part. So you're gonna slide the outer piece over this, and that makes really nice finishing. Okay. See it's in? It has like a little bit of a lip. for protection. It'll look nice. Silky 40 weight rayon. All right, I'm gonna check them out. You agree? Maxi Lock swirls. Ooh, okay. Thanks, Christina. Thanks, Heather. That's really fun. Serger thread. Yeah, you can see my serger right there. That would be really fun. I'd love to do some fun variegated thread stuff on my serger. That would look amazing with pretty much anything. So here's my outer bag. I am folding the couple inches in. Again, you can take your ruler and measure that 5 inches. And I think I push that down. Okay. Let's do that this way. I think I pushed too much down there. And this is the part that just takes a little bit of, as most of you seamstresses know who are watching, what takes the most time is lining your stuff up, pinning your stuff, cutting your stuff, ironing your stuff. I mean, you sew for like 2 seconds. That's kind of sad in a way. But yeah, do you guys use variegated thread with your regular machine? I'm curious. I'll have to look for a good brand of that. So you can go ahead, and if you are happy where this is, you could press it. I'm not going to press it because I am going to slide my bag into here and maybe need to finagle it a little bit. Okay, so this part can really be customized to what you want your closure to look like, depending on like how far in you want your cards to be, things like that. Okay, I folded the outer inside. I folded the inner outside. Opposite, sorry. Yep, it added so much fun to your work. Fun. You only need 2 for the serger, upper and lower. Yes, I know what you're talking about. The rest won't be visible. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, so don't waste your money on 4 cones of it. Is that what you're saying? I know, all those like foolish beginner mistakes you make, especially with the serger. And I've been learning a lot with my serger. Okay, you see how I'm like, I have pinned a little bit, so don't prick your fingers. I do every time because I'm just like clumsy. But we're sliding this outer bag over the liner. Okay, and this part is tough because you don't want to move all of these layers. Where a chopstick can come in handy, you can also take out the form, but I like to make sure that the corners and the seams are lined up. So you can see that I put a pin in my liner seam and in my outer bag seam. So you can see that if I get those 2 on the sides lined up, I'm probably in pretty good shape. Okay. All right. Try to straighten it out a little bit, but I think you guys get the idea here. All right, I'm gonna use my tool, make sure to push my liner really well into the outer bag. Oh, look at that, it's beautiful. Okay, and you see I'm like, it's pretty tough. I'm trying to make sure they're lined up well. If the corners aren't lined up, you're gonna know, because when you go to press it, you're gonna feel extra, like you're gonna feel the liner kind of like folding in on itself, okay? I love this sewing talk chat that we're having in the chat below. This is great. I'm so happy to have some folks here that are interested in making these and giving me some tips too, because I so appreciate it. All right, let's see. Moment of truth. Ba, ba, da, ba. Did I do it? I did it. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. See, it's not really lined up in there because I can feel the liner. So I'm gonna kind of like, this is why a form is really helpful, or your deck is helpful. So you can kind of like smush it inside to make sure that your bag's gonna fit good. Okay, and this is the other part I'm talking about. So you have the liner with the piece folded in and the outer with the piece folded in, okay, and they're facing each other. So this little slit is where you're going to insert your cover, okay? Bing. It's gonna go right in there. But before you do that, you wanna make sure, like, you can either have them exactly the same height. I sometimes like the liner a little lower than my outer bag, just so I know when I sew it, it's not gonna show. And that also depends on what seam allowance you're using with stitching to make sure that you're going to hit both of the bags when you're stitching, okay? Because it gets a little hairy when you're trying to stitch something small like this. So I'm gonna take out these pins and I'll show you how we insert the top. And again, if you have, so you have like a little tail hanging out, that's no matter, like just push it down in the bag. No one's gonna see that. Yeah. So I'm working on a couple bags, putting some pockets on them. I thought that really would be fun to put like some crystals or stones or something special. You could have like, you know, a special keepsake in there. I don't know, whatever you fancy, some herbs if you're into that. If you want to keep your cards smelling nice, put a little lavender in there. Hi Jane, how are you doing? Okay, so we're on our last step. I think that looks pretty good. I left it, it's a little bit above the cards. You can see, but you can finagle with it, all right? You can go back out, make sure to just have it all lined up nice, okay? So let's see if I can, let's just make sure it's good, because we are going to put the liner in next. I think I went a little too far. And this is what I'm talking about with the finagling, you guys. This is the only semi-difficult part of this, is getting it to be even and nice the way you want. Okay. Let's measure it again. Make sure it's pretty even on either side. It looks to be. And then we're gonna put the cover in, and then we are going to pull some cards for folks once we stitch around. I know this one's taking a little longer than my tutorials probably usually do. Just so you know, this one means a lot to me. I love my tarot cards and I really love making these cases. So the fact that I can, that I figured this out and figured out how to share it with you guys means a lot to me, and I'm really happy that there's some interest in the sewing community for this. Okay, so I'm being slick. I'm pinning them together, okay? So that's what they look like. That's what my liner looks like. That's what my outer looks like. We did nice boxed corners. You can see the seam looks really good. Have I put snap closures on these? I have not, but absolutely go for it. You know, like how I did my mark for the buttonhole. You could just, I mean, you put a little hole with your awl and then use your machine and do a snap. I don't really like the plastic snaps personally. I mean, I like them for like baby bibs and things like that. They're really sturdy and wonderful. But for this, I'd probably use like a metal one or something a little fancier. But that's a great idea because that would be very secure as well. Okay, so I keep talking about marking your stuff, and it is super important to mark your stuff. So let's do that. And in the tutorial, there we go, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. So that's what the what it's going to look like finished. There's a little extra space there. Hi, Rebecca. Had it been mine, you would already end up in the corner. Would already end up in the corner. That's funny. Okay. So we have our closure piece that we're going to slide in here. This is exactly 3 inches. So you want to make a mark a 1/2 inch on the back in and on the other side. So I'm going to do that with you guys. I know exactly where this is going to be, and you can do this before you get this far, really, but it shouldn't matter. Be able to just hold up your ruler and make a little mark. And it's helpful if you have the form like I do, because it shows exactly where it is going to line up on the back. But if you don't have that, and you mark a 1/2 inch on the back from your side seam, that should equal exactly 3 inches. Okay, so I made a little mark here, made a little mark here. I would have quit the project. You are not that patient. Aw, I'm sorry, Christina. Yeah, this isn't for the faint of heart, I suppose. I love making these, so I keep going at it, and I have been really frustrated with it for years. But if you look at my tutorial, you'll see that, you know, like with anything, you need practice, and it can be fun once you get going and feel confident with it. So I've been doing this for, you know, 5 years now, making these. So I'm definitely confident with my project. But yes, a beginner, certainly go slow. I go slow with all this stuff. I'm going to place a 1/2 inch line on that. I'm going to slide into my case in between the layers. Yeah, I guess it takes a lot of patience for sewing. I'm imagining, are you a quilter, Christina? Do you quilt, or what kind of projects do you like to work on? I'm curious. I know that you use a serger, and I love my serger, and you can do lots of really fun, fast projects on a serger. So I totally get that. Okay, so I'm lining up my closure. I'm gonna put a pin in it. And I have really awesome photos of all of these steps in that tutorial I'm talking about. So obviously I struggle a little bit, and it helps to have good, clear photographs of what I mean. So I made a marking, so that should be even. And now I've pinned it in between the two. So that's what it'll look like when it's finished. The flap will come over. I will put a button in to secure it, and I'm going to top stitch around my bag from the inside. So garments, both woven and jersey. Yeah, see, it takes me forever to make clothes. I love making like little stuff. So maybe, and it's funny because like, boy, I wish I had this patience with my children, right? But I've struggled with clothing. I feel like there's a learning curve, as with anything, for like the patterns and how to mark on them, and like you need to have a basic knowledge of things, obviously, beforehand, before you sew your garment, and you have to do a lot of prep work. But I think that's brilliant. So let's see what this is going to look like. I'll put my form back in, and let's make sure it lines up again. What the hell? We'll put the cards in. So these are just a regular deck that I have. It's not my favorite. I do have my favorite lying here, and I will pull some cards for you guys who have been so patient hanging out with me tonight. and it is Halloween Eve, so that'll be nice. So there you go, the cards are in, and it looks like my cover is lined up really well. Okay, so it's a 1/2 inch from the seam on the back, and when I stitch around, it's gonna look really great. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. Okay, so this part can be a little frustrating because of how you pin. And I like to pin so they're sticking out so I remember to take them out. I don't know. Mom would dismantle some of her favorite garments and use them as patterns. I know! That takes guts. I would be like, my favorite shirt. Okay. So when I sew, I'm sewing on the inside all the way around. And you got to go really slow. You got to have some patience with this project. And I think that if you have some patience, you'll really love it. So I like to start at the side seam. So I'll start at the side seam so I can back stitch. You won't see any of that ugly stitching. And I am using black, so it is a color coordinating thread. So you shouldn't really see if I make a boo-boo or something, okay? So I'm gonna start at the side seam. I'm gonna stitch back across on the inside to secure my cover around the front like this. This is what it's going to look like when you're sewing. I'm gonna get back to that same side seam. As you're sewing, you can, once you're past the cover, you can kind of flip it back so you have a little more visibility, okay? Let's go for it. I know you guys are probably like, this doesn't look easy, and it is and it isn't. You just gotta have a little faith in yourself, and I know you can do this because I started out not knowing how to do anything, and I've taught myself a lot, and I've taught myself how to make these patterns and how to share them with you, and I'm really happy I can do that for you guys. So again, Elisa dropped that awesome link to our group so you guys can join us in there and see some of the other patterns I've made. Okay, here we go. So I am folding top of this bag away from my thread guide because these pins can like catch that thread. Have a good ripper on hand. Ha! Might give it a try for our Uno cards. Yes! That would be so cool. Yeah, I actually was inspired by, it was an old card case that I think one of my clients had that was for regular playing cards, and I was like, oh, I could make a tarot deck case with this and it'd be sweet. Okay, so I'm sewing along the back of my project. I'm moving, I've opened my bag a little bit so I can really see, and I'm kind of pulling it tight to make sure that everything is going to be lined up nicely. And I like to use a fairly small seam allowance. I'm using the 1/4 inch seam allowance. Again, use, for the top stitch rather, use whatever feels good to you as far as this goes. And my pattern and tutorial is just a jumping off point for your creativity and imagination, and I really can't wait to see some of these brilliant ideas that folks will hopefully come up with. Okay, so I have sewn past the flap. I am going to lift my presser foot because I'm gonna just finagle it backwards out of my way. Seam ripper. What did you say? A deal ripper. Yeah, I need a deal ripper too with my son. If I had one of those, deal ripper. He's trying to make deals with me all the time. Speaking of bones though, my son lost his first tooth last night. We'll always remember Halloween. Halloween when he was 5. He lost his first tooth. Very fun. And you know what? Elisa, my business partner here, her son is the same age and he lost the exact same tooth. Can you believe that? These two are twins. We'll have to post some pictures of them in the stories tomorrow so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Okay, here we go. Let's finish our bag though. Going around the front now. I'm still pulling that out of the way, making sure my pins are out of the way. You can be, once you're past the cover, you can be a little rougher with your bag, obviously, since you don't need to be so careful about tipping the cover or pushing it in a certain way. Okay, getting my pins out of the way, moving my tails. Okay, and as I go along, you can see that I am leaving the needle down in my project and I'm kind of finagling the bag so I have more room towards me to sew. We're almost there. Home free, you guys. I know, this is probably a longer tutorial than usual, but I swear I've been chatting. I can make these bags in like a half hour. But again, I'm a little more experienced. So here I am at my side seam I started on. Woo-hoo! And I'm gonna press my back stitch. And my forward stitch. And ta-da! Okay, you get your tails that started and ended on the same side seam. You have gone all the way around the inside of your bag, securing your top cover piece. Look how great that looks, okay? And it already has a really great form. There's my cover. When I close it, it looks good. I have about an inch to the bottom of my bag, which is exactly where it should be. Woohoo! How old are my kids? Your son is 5? Hey, we have a lot in common apparently, Christina. My son is 5 as well, and I have a daughter that is 1. And my son, anytime I come up here, will you sew me something? Okay, so here's my test. So this is a little firm, but it does fit in well. Okay, so they fit. I will fix my tails, I will sew my button on, but that is what you guys are getting tonight. Look how cool that is. I'm excited. So that is our completed one. Here's one that I did earlier. I need to put the button on, see? So I'm gonna do the button on this one. I have a mark, but this one looks really good as well. It's all lined up. So again, this tutorial is in our crafters group and I hope you guys check it out. And let's move on. Let's pull some cards. Who's here that's been here for a while? Let's pull one for Christina. You have a son that's 5 too. Let's see. I don't know what's going on in your life, but we'll just pull a card for you because we can. All right, so this is my oldest deck. As you see, it is very easy to shuffle and all that stuff. See if it wants to read for others. And I have all these different pieces and bags all over the place. You see this? I've got another one I'm working on with the bones. That still needs the cover. Gotta work on that a little more later. The galaxy one. Yeah, I love the galaxy one. I know, I didn't secure my button because I was like, I don't know how much I love this white button. We'll see. But yeah, I really love this galaxy fabric. I did some face masks with it a while back and it's just so fun and vibrant, and it's got a lot of really great colors. So a lot of these will be available in our shop. So if you don't sew, but you still want one of these cases, or you want one of the cases you saw tonight, or one of these super fancy ones, I'm going to be putting them up eventually. All right, let's think about the nice. That one is a classic. You have a dragon deck you haven't touched in years. Pull it out. Hey Liz, you're just in time. I'm gonna pull some cards. I finished doing my tarot case. This is the one we made together tonight. Woo! It's got a little jar. It says Kraken oil on it, and I figured that went well with the nice bones. Yeah. So that came out good. All right, we're thinking of Christina. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Hummelsberger. This is the classic deck. This is the Rider-Waite deck. It's kind of the go-to deck for most people. It has great symbolism. I really like the artwork. I think it's very symbolic and helpful. Okay, Christina, let's see. What knowledge could Christina use? Let's see. What's your card? Ace of Wands. New beginnings of things. Are you starting something new? That is fine. What is fine? Something new, something creative is coming. I don't know. Maybe you're just starting a new project. Maybe you're going to do a tarot case. But something new is coming your way that will definitely spark your creativity. I like wands. I think a lot about love with wands. Like love is in the air. I don't know why. But that is something new for you. I like that. That's a good card. Let's see if I have any extra notes. I have this hilarious little book here that I have been writing in for probably 20 years. So it's got a lot of my notes on things, and I always love when I pull a card that I haven't pulled in a while to see, you know, where I was at before. So it's kind of nice to do that. What does this one say? Dealing with the beginning of an undertaking, something new. Yep. Beginnings, creation, good monies, happiness, fate, fortune. That's all those things I said for you. Something new is coming. I always get wands when something creative is happening. So it feels nice in your tummy. Good energy coming your way, Christina. All right, is Liz. Liz, are you still here? Let's pull a card for Liz. Liz is my sister-in-law. If you guys want a card pulled, let me know below. If you haven't shared me out yet, I would love if you could share this video. If you know anybody who sews or loves tarot, share this out. Maybe they know somebody that would make a bag for them. Or, you know, maybe you just want to see how I make something. I don't know. I watch all sorts of crazy videos all the time. Whoa, Liz, are you here? You can tell me if you're here still. If you're here or not, I'm pulling you a card. One jumped out of the deck. Do you want to know which one just jumped on the floor? Might be for her. Oh, I don't know if I like that one for you. Definitely pull one for you. Yes, Heather. Okay. So the one that jumped on the floor, Liz, it's funny because she's got this long thing going on with her job. Yay, you are here. So I know a little bit about what's going on with you, obviously, because we're like sisters. Oddly enough, we look alike too, which is so cool. It's like I have like another sister, my husband's sister, who is wonderful. But she's stuck in an ugly job, and I want you to get out of it. So let's ask the cards about that ugly job. Okay. You would love to know, Nola loves, this is so funny. When I've been cutting today, I keep getting the tower. Uh-oh. It can be a good thing, though. Don't look at those scary cards as something negative. Nola loves it when I shuffle. She likes to count. 1, 2, 3, go! go, she says, and I do the little shuffle part. See? Isn't that crazy? I'm telling you, I just did that twice in a row. It's been happening all day. All right, it's telling me something. But now we're thinking about Liz. What does Liz need? Okay, I'm feeling this one. Let's hope it's good. Hope it's good. Oh, it is the High Priestess. So balance is a huge one that I always get for this, and I think she is big on intuition. So you need to trust yourself and know, like, find that knowing that you're going to be okay, that you're going to find the balance with all sorts of struggles. So this is a major arcana card, which this shows me like where you are in your journey of life right now. And don't, like, for those of you that don't know about major archetypes, the major arcana show kind of like the journey of how you progress through life and all of these major, you know, difficulties or struggles or you know, brilliance moments you'll have. So this is one of those where you're following and trusting your inner guidance, where you're finding balance in your life, and yeah, where you're feeling really good. So I don't know, did you quit your job? So if any of this is resonating with you, Liz, let me know. I love you, and I hope you find balance, and I think you are this beautiful High Priestess. That's why we picked this. Happy Halloween. That's a really beautiful card. I have picked that particular card, the High Priestess, in time of doubt. So it's just a really good reminder to believe in yourself and to trust that inner knowing. That's the best I can say with that one. Cheers to everybody. Heather, my dear, let's pull one for you. Okay, let's clear it a little bit here. Let's see what's going on with Heather. I know, Liz, you're gonna have to tell me more. I miss you. Like, let's get together and drink some wine and not just like virtually have a sip together here. Are you drinking wine right now? I know Elisa is. Okay. Woo. Let's think about Heather Crumb. Pull a card for Heather. Okay. What does Heather need? Oh, this card is like, it's about to fall. It's about to fall. It probably wants to be with you. We'll look at that one too. We'll look at that one and we'll pull you one too. When a card jumps out of my deck, like if it falls on the floor or something, isn't that funny? That one just tried to jump out. The High Priestess again. I tend to look at them. Okay. Here we go. Heather. Let's see what it is. Oh, it is the 10 of Wands. So this is telling me you have a lot on your plate and you're doing a lot of it all by yourself. I don't know if that resonates with you, but that can be really hard to do on your own, whatever that may be. What else can we say about the 10 of Wands? I'm going to look. I haven't picked the 10 of Wands in a while, but it looks like this man has a lot of work and he is working hard. 3:20 a.m., but saw you post in the bags group and got sidetracked. Yes, absolutely does. So you're feeling kind of like overburdened. Is that what I'm kind of getting? Oh, I have a really nice little note I wrote myself. Let's see what my note is. At what cost are you helping others? That's what I wrote in here. That's my note. Take care of yourself and get your priorities straight. So you're overworking yourself. That's what this is. Are you overworking yourself, and are you doing too much for others? Sometimes it's okay to say no, and it sucks. And it'll definitely, like, doing too much and putting so much stress on yourself ends up making you feel guilty, like you're not getting the help you need, but you feel guilty about asking for help, or you feel guilty when you do get the help you need, or maybe you're just foreign, you know, it's hard to accept help too. Man, the deck isn't pulling any punches. So does that mean this does resonate with you, or is this something that you are hearing from your decks as well? But yeah, definitely rest, get yourself some R&R and some self-love, and let others give you some help. And this is the other one that fell out of the deck. It's the Six of Pentacles. So this is a man. It's showing a man who is being very giving. So that could be you. Maybe you're giving and you're feeling, if you're in a place of prosperity, or you feel like you have a lot, you're giving. You feel more giving, right? If I came into a bunch of money right now, you better believe all my close friends would be getting nice gifts and, you know, things like that. I would make sure we had, I would feel more apt to help others. So maybe you have more and you feel like you can give more, but don't let it overwhelm you. You know what I mean? That's a lot. But I love that you want to give and that you feel prosperity and that you are able to share that. That's really important too. Let's see if I have any other notes for that. Over the years, it's really great that I have written myself some stuff like that. What have I written? Oh, pay raise or promotion. So this can also be a card for getting a promotion or a pay raise, or inheritance. That could, you know, be about an inheritance. I don't know why that comes up in mind. But yeah, support in material matters. So maybe you have that, or maybe you need that. But either way, what I'm getting from the two cards together is that you're definitely giving more than you're taking. And that is a super good quality, but don't burn yourself out. I know how that is. That's so hard. But it feels so easy when you have a lot to give, you know? Okay. I know do I pull cards for kids? Sure. Why not? Is there a kid that wants a card? Or are you just asking in general? I don't know. I've had my daughter randomly pull something. I mean, she's 1, and my son is like, he's more interested in, like, you know, playing with them, what the pictures are and things like that, rather than like really combining that they have a meaning. But if you have a kid you want me to pull for, let me know their name. Oh, good, Heather. I'm really glad that helps you or gives you, you know, some validation on maybe how you're feeling, and like, it's okay to feel stressed and guilty and overworked, or I don't know, you know, just be easy on yourself as far as that goes. Where is Elisa? You still here, girl? You want a card? I know this is, how long have I been on here, guys? Am I like boring you yet? Maybe I should cut out and come back in so we get some new fresh people, because I know folks have been watching. He is Linus. Can I pull one for your 5-year-old? Yes, I can. I will pull one for Elisa, and then I will pull one for Linus. And then, oh, Elisa's here, and then we will call it a night. A night. Anybody doing something special for All Hallows Eve? I can tell you what my usual ritual is, and you guys are gonna be like, you're a freaking weirdo. But I think it's lovely and it really helps me. Hi, Sandra. You're a newbie? Are you new to tarot? Welcome. I'm Hilary, and I have been reading for a very long time. And if you are new to tarot, don't let them overwhelm you. Just, you know, pick them up, enjoy them, learn some symbolism. You know we are. You know we are. You know you are what? No, you are, but what am I? Yeah, so I'm pulling one for Elisa, and her husband is chiming in, Alex below. Do we need to pull one for the two of you? No, we get like the lover's card or something. They're good love bugs. Okay, so I'm thinking of Elisa, Got a lot of good things to think about my best friend. All right, what does Elisa need? And of course, it's so much easier when you're reading for someone you know. I mean, I've known her for 30 years, so yeah. What are we doing for, oh, I know what you're doing for Halloween, but the night before, All Hallows Eve, I'm saying, what are you guys doing tonight? You just testing those Jell-O shots out for tomorrow? Okay, Elisa. Feeling this one. Yeah. Ooh, we have got the Four of Wands. I love this card so much because look at, I'm telling you, there's Elisa, there's me. Woo, woo, woo. We're having our little Halloween party tomorrow with our kids. How funny is that? Is that not like the most celebratory affirmation in tarot you could get? That's right. Cause for celebration. You see the castle in the background? That's your house, girl. We're going to be partying at the castle. Look, they've got little flower crowns on and they're waving their herbs above their head. They got this nice little party thing. I like this for us. That means good day tomorrow, I think. Let's look up in my dummy book. Four of Wands. I love wands. Hard work rewarded. Those are my notes right there. Hard work rewarded. There you go. Blessings, big or small. The little joys in life. So even if this particular card, Elisa, came to me upside down, it's still positive. So there is no way the Halloween party can be a bust. Woohoo! And I know if any of you are parents, you know exactly how that feels. Like you do all this prep for your kids' party and you're like, oh my God, and you're like games and presents and are people gonna like it? And I mean, now with COVID, how do we social distance and play games and still, you know, keep everybody safe? And we're not talking a big party. I mean, it's just the boys and immediate family for us. But it's still a party and we can't go trick-or-treating, so we're trying to make it super fun. And I can't wait to, I hope you're gonna allow me to play the games too, because I'm gonna get like kind of upset if, like, she told me, shh, don't tell the kids. She told me she has this really fun like balancing game with a hand and eyeballs. You have to like balance the eyeball on the hand. And I really want to do that, okay? So that is Elisa's card. Thank you for the class tonight, my dear friend Donna. Sign me up to tune in. Thank you, Donna. Oh, that is my auntie. I didn't see my auntie tuning in, my Aunt Donna. You're very welcome, Paula. Do you want to... I have to pull a card for this wonderful woman's son. Let me look for his name, Linus, Christina's son, Linus. And if you're still here, Paula, I'll pull one for you. And that would be wonderful. I'm really glad you guys are liking this. Okay, Linus, what a cool name. We did read The Great Pumpkin. It's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, tonight. Gotta read that if you are in Halloween spirits. I have a lot of good Halloween books. I really like that one. It's not my favorite, but I like it. Would love a card. Wonderful. Okay, you are up after Linus. So Linus is 5, and his mom is Christina. Let's see, what does Linus need? I'm sorry, I can't help but think of Charlie Brown. Is that where you picked the name from? I'm curious. I like that name. Okay, Linus. Think of Linus. Whoop. That one's jumping out. Okay. Okay. Feeling right here. Okay. Linus, what have we got? The Hangman reversed. So maybe your son was kind of feeling in a fog about something, or having a difficult time. But when this card is upright, you can see this man is now firmly back on his feet, and he's got this like brilliant halo around, which can mean like enlightenment. Maybe he's come to terms with something that was difficult for him. You know, maybe this has to do, Linus is after a Linus Torvalds link system for computers. Ooh, that's fancy. And here I am thinking Charlie Brown. Well, I'm all simple here. That's a cool name. So yeah, speaking of computers, like maybe, I mean, he's obviously new to remote learning, and I know my son, who's 5, is having huge issues with the learning curve there of like computers and things like that. It's a lot. It's a lot. So I don't know if that resonates with you at all with him. Let me see if I have any other notes that might help me out in this. But that is always what I think of with the Hanged Man reverse, is that now he's standing up and he's feeling more enlightenment, unable to let go of the past, slowing down the inevitable resistance in learning lessons. So is he having issues with school like that? I don't know why that like keeps coming up to me. That's the first thing I can think of. So resistance to lessons. So maybe, I don't know, I have been having like the worst trouble with my 5-year-old this whole year. I'm telling you, he's been acting out more. He's been moody and grumpy, and it's because we are all growing pains. Yeah, there you go. 5 is hard. I mean, my son had to go the whole year pretty much with no friends. His best friends were the pigs. And, you know, they leave in the fall. So that's, you know, that's a big change for him. But he's been behind in development and had his school start delayed for a year. That is a really big thing, and that is very affirmative of this right here too. So maybe he was really, yeah, having some issues like starting off, and I like that resistance in lessons. So you can look at that from the school point of view. That is very affirming. So he was held back, not held back. He's where he should be, and not everybody learns the same way. And not everybody of a certain age is equal in enlightenment and what they know and how they behave and how they act. And you can't blame kids, because they're just kids after all. So just trust that he is where he should be, and he is obviously, you're giving him a really good foundation, and you're setting him up to do more and to feel better. But this is definitely showing me that he's going the right way. Do you know what I mean? Even if every kid has a resistance to learning. I mean, I think you'll love this little, yeah, a lot of kids are not ready for kindergarten at 5. Totally right. My son had a total meltdown on the computer today, probably in front of his entire class. They had him drawing with the computer. So you have to like get to the image. You have to hold down the mouse, and you have to like color with it. It's really hard for a child to learn these new things, and he just went berserk. He went berserk. He's slamming on the table. He's running outside during class, you know, and I'm helping, but you know, and we were on mute luckily, so they didn't hear him going, dumb computer, meh, meh, meh. And I'm just like, oh gosh, I don't know if they're seeing all of this, but that is a good indication that like not everybody does everything well, and he's very resistant, but he wants to learn. So if your son wants to learn, he's turned a major corner in development and is almost up to age now and looks forward to school. Yes, before he was feeling like really out of control, and you know, like here your hands are behind your back, like you have nowhere to go, and you feel like pushed, you know, but when you're back up on your feet, you really like, you can tell he's going the right way. Go Linus. That's awesome. I love that. Yes, it's terrible to draw on the computer. What is with that? I feel bad. Like he had the option of drawing. It was a helmet, okay? They're learning like a safety thing. My son had the option of drawing a helmet, but no, he wanted to do the computer thing. You lost me. Sorry, guys. Weird connection thing all of a sudden. Okay, Paula, if you're still here, let's pull you a card. And I was just talking about my aunt, but you are my aunt's pal. Let's see what cards have to say for Paula. Clear. And I'm gonna call it good night, guys. I'm back. I know. Sorry. I went away and now I'm back. Okay. Oh, Paula's back too. Good. This is your card. Would love a card from Trisha. Okay. Right, Paula. Oh, one jumped out. We're going to read that one too, but let's pull you one. Ooh, I like the one that jumped out. You're going to like that one. Okay, I'm feeling this one. Oh. 5 of Wands. We got a lot of Wands coming up, everybody. But this one is showing a lot of fighting. So I don't know if you're having arguments, if you're fighting over something with family or friends, or if something new came up with that. Or maybe it has to do with this other card that fell out, who is the Page of Cups. Usually he's the bringer of love, or like the messenger of love, or of something good to fill your cup. But it looks, and tell me if any of this is resonating with you. You might even have some inner stuff you're fighting yourself about. I don't know. That can also indicate that. Let's see if I have any notes. Yeah, social advancement, caution with money. So it's saying you need endurance. Whatever it is, stick it out. You're going to have a little bit of a hard time getting to whatever your end game is. But most things are worth what you're fighting for. So if you are fighting and it's worth it, keep going for it, even though there's a struggle, you know? And especially if it's for love, if you're getting a message, like, have you had a message of something like really positive and powerful that makes you feel love recently? Because that can also be coming from this, or it could be a person, like, you know, your not necessarily significant other. I don't want to say significant other because it's the Page of Cups, so it's like somebody younger, maybe a niece, nephew, grandkid that brings you love. Who knows? Are you fighting with your grandkids? All of those things, but you will get to your goal. Whatever that is. I'm feeling that because of the good news messenger. Whatever this fight about, you have good news coming. I hope. Okay. Let me know how that goes, actually, because since you know my aunt, I'm always curious if what I'm saying is reaching you, and if what happens. I don't know. Hey Jenny, did you catch the whole tutorial or what? I know you must read cards. Do you have a favorite card deck? Okay, I saw one more person who wanted me to pull a card, and then I should probably sign off. Or maybe I should just sign back on to just do cards alone. What do you think, Elisa? So I know this tutorial thread is just like getting super long. Trisha, it was Trisha Whitshire. That's very pretty. Whitshire. Okay. We will think of Trisha. I have another friend named Trisha who I like very much, so that name makes me feel good when I say it. All right, clear a little bit. Okay. Haha, let me know how it turns out. You are not like Auntie Donna. She is priceless. She is a very unique, amazing individual. I'm very lucky to have a very cool aunt who listens, and she is no bullshit. I love that about her. It's very helpful in our family. Okay, Trisha. I think it's this one. Feeling this one for you. Okay, here we go. Drum roll. Oh, it's the sun. So this is like one of the best cards ever. I mean, look at that happy little cherub baby on the back of a horse celebrating, you know, the sun. So you can think of horses obviously bring symbolism of like journeys. If you might be going somewhere, if you have a trip happening, it's going to be a good one. You're striving to be a good auntie. But it's with okay. But yes, I love the sun. This is just like the epitome of happiness. I love this. Let's see if I have any special notes that I wrote in here. Oh. Just success, contentment, maintenance, regaining health. So if it is something to do with health, hopefully this is going to show that you're rounding the corner with whatever that is. Beginnings, yeah, beginnings, and happy power, all the good things, everything good. So whatever is going on with you, it's good. It's all gonna come to fruition. I love that happy little baby on the back of the horse. I don't know. I'm curious though, do you have like did you have to make a big decision recently to get to this place? I'm curious. I don't know why that's coming up for me, that you had to make a big decision to get to this sunshine, happiness place. That's just coming up. I don't know if that is true to you, but a lot of folks have to go through a little bit of darkness to get to the light anyway. But I love pulling this card because it makes you feel good. Just starting a new business and moved to a beautiful home. You have completed surgery, and that is so funny. Yes, I was feeling like the health stuff. So like I can't see the rest of it. Oh, and really good now. Yes. So that is so funny that the health thing like kind of came into the forefront of my mind as well. So wow. Congratulations. I'm so glad that your surgery worked for you, and that, yeah, you did. You moved to a new place. You started a new business. So all of those like horrible things that you had to go through and like had to make decisions on, obviously, were worth it. Whatever that journey was, now you're that like happy little baby with new beginnings. Oh, that's the best. I'm so glad. Also came out of a horrible marriage. Like another journey, another, another thing to end. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot, Trisha. That's a lot all at once. I'm so sorry and so happy for you at the same time, because you had to, you had to go through all those hard things to get to where you are now, and that's like the best part to focus on. Like, you can't forget where you were, of course. Don't get caught in the past with that, though. I'm really glad you're moving on. That's so exciting. I would love to know what your business is. What do you do? I know Jenny's here. I keep saying, I'll pull one more and then I'm going to go. Okay, I'll pull one for Jenny. Jenny was my first Reiki student, and she is just lovely. She is a massage therapist and a mother, and she is an energy healer, obviously. Good night. Thank you for a wonderful evening. Good night, Paula. I'm really glad that you enjoyed and that you came. I love to, I don't know, I'm not doing anything else on a Friday night. I might as well hang out with you guys and share one of my favorite projects. Yeah, Jenny, are you still here? This is what I sewed tonight live, one of our tarot cases. And that's why I'm doing some pulls. I hope you're still here. So I'm going to pull one for you anyway, Jenny, and then I'm going to say goodnight. Okay. What does Jenny need? Let's see. Okay, thinking this one. Oh my goodness. We're coming full circle. This was the first card we pulled tonight, which is all about, new beginnings and new good energy and creativity. And, I wonder what you're beginning that's new. I know you went back to work recently, Jenny, and I would love to hear what's new that's coming into your life with this Ace of Wands. So I'm going to have to check in with you and hear all about it. But I'm so glad you guys tuned in and enjoyed our Sit and Sew project. Join our crafters group, share me out, and certainly even if this is on replay, I'd love to hear from you. Many of these cards I pulled are certainly for the collective, so if you feel like it resonated for you, there's a reason you were here on this thread and that I pulled them and you were here. So the message goes to you as well. Happy Halloween, everybody. Go watch your favorite scary movie. Go make a tarot case. Go read some cards. Treat yourself well, and we will be back again. I'm sure we'll have some fun stuff from the party tomorrow. Let's see, what's that, Trisha? Oh, that's so fun. I love that. Well, I'm going to have to come look for your shop, and I hope you can give a little love to mine too, and I will send you a friend request. I love making new friends, and it's been great. Love you, Elisa. Night, night. Hope your card was good. We're going to have a good party tomorrow. 4 Wands party.